Good afternoon, my beauty professionals. And this afternoon, what I want to do is go over how to do long layers. So if you watched my hair cutting for beginners video, you will see the elevations that I taught in the classroom. There's 4 basic elevations for hair cutting, and that's your foundation. And then you build from that as you get in the salon and you take advanced classes, but all of that leads down to learning these 4 elevations. So if you didn't watch hair cutting for beginners, make sure you watch that, where I just do drawings showing you the 4 different elevations, telling you the different effects that they'll have, and then my part 1 and part 2 of how to do a solid haircut, and that's the basic blunt haircut, how you would get started if you want to learn how to do a bob haircut or just no layers. So in this case, she has long hair, and I'm not a fan of this quality of hair, but I'm going to do my best with it. This is a client who doesn't want her length taken off, but inside of the hair, she wants layers. So in other words, now I used her for my how to do a solid haircut. So right now she has no layers. Her hair is all one length, but now she wants to add a little pizzazz to it, and she wants to put some body in it, but still maintain her length. So that would be called a 180-degree haircut. And that is where all the hair is brought up, straight up, to the one guide that we're going to make in the center here. So let's get started. Okay, so I've sectioned her in 5 sections, and don't judge, I probably should get fired for these sections that I have here. I usually pride myself in really neat sections, but today I'm just not in the mood for shenanigans, and if you know me, I'm always in the twilight zone, and this mannequin here does not want to section neatly. So, it is what it is, but just a real quick recap on how we do this. In the middle section here, you really kind of base it mid-brow to mid-brow coming back, and you don't want your middle section to go past that crown area, and that's where the head starts to curve, right? So you would stop right just before you get to the crown. You use that line there for as a guide for your side section. So you would come, I slightly curve it honestly to go towards the ear, slightly curve it, so that's 1, 2, 3, and then in the back you just split it down the middle and you have 2 even sections there. Let's see if there's anything else. That's that. So now mind you, this is for beginners, because normally if I'm doing this haircut, depending on how thick their hair is, because remember we section to have control, right? So right now when you're doing this haircut, you want to have more control because you're just starting. But what I was going to say is, normally what I will do for if I'm doing someone's hair in a long layered cut, I would just section off where I'm going to have my guide. Now this is what I wanted to tell you. In this case, we are going through the consultation. So she's draped, she's in the chair, we're talking about how she wants her hair layered, how long. you kind of have an idea on if you're going to do a 180 or a 90 just based off of the terminology that they're telling you. So if they're saying they want a lot of layers, you know, and they want it really full, then you know you would kind of pull the hair straight out from where it grows, and that would be considered a 90-degree haircut, which we will do in the future. But if her hair is long and she's saying, you know, I just want some slight layers, I don't want anything too, but I just want to be able to tell that there's some layers in there and I still want to keep my length, then you know that that's going to be a long layered cut. So in this case here, this section here is your guide, that middle section. And if you watched my hair cutting for beginners, we go over the guides, traveling guide, stationary guide, and in this case, this haircut, your guide would be stationary. So this is my guide, but it's also where her first layer would start. Now here's another thing, and I don't want to get too because I don't like to confuse people. But let's say if she wanted bangs with this is my way on how I do it. What I've done is I would section off her bangs and get that out of the way. And then I would do my guide behind that. So that would be something separate that I would do. And then once I'm done with the whole haircut, then I'm going to come back and do her bangs however she wants them, whether she wants them to come this way or if she wants it to be a side bang. And that's something in the future that I will show you. So we're discussing it, and Miss Williams says, you know, her hair is this long, and sometimes they can get dramatic. They may want this much where it like really shows. So that means when it falls, it's gonna be like to about right here, right? We're not gonna go that dramatic. So let's say she wants about that much. Her hair is long, right? So that means that first layer, it's going to fall like right down here to her shoulders because her hair is longer than that. So it'll be subtle and you won't see too much, right? But you will be able to see it. Now, if they want to be dramatic, then you just I hold it up for them and I say, okay, so that means we're going to cut about this much. And they're looking in the mirror at this time. Is that okay with you? And she'll say yes or no, or maybe do it a little longer. So then I will stretch it out maybe an inch or so, and yeah, that's perfect, right? And if they're kind of unsure, a lot of times what I will do is cut a little less than what they're saying they want, and then work my way up, right? So her hair is really long, and if you're working in the school or in the salon, and let's say it's like way beyond, I wouldn't want you to cut like this. So honestly, you get in a grip, and if that hair is thin enough, you could grab the whole guide and cut it that way. If you feel uncomfortable doing that, then you can take it subsection by subsection and just bring it up like that. So then what you would do is you would pull this straight up, and your subsections would be between 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch wide, and you would do your cutting, right? And then when you bring that down, you would slice off a thin portion of what you just cut, and then take another piece like that. So you could work your way up that way if that brings you more comfort. I am not going to do that for time purposes. I am just going to bring this straight up, and like I said, I'm not going to have my arm, what's going on here? I'm not going to have my arm way up in the air. I'm going to get it to where I want it and bring it down. So let's say like about that much. That's a good, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 inches. So that's pretty good. Still got a lot of hair left. I'm going to bring it down. And my fingers are not perfectly straight, so what I do is I will cut this. And if I need to regroup it, I will do that. So that's one way, and then I will check myself and I will come around this way or that side. And I will check myself. And that is called cross-checking. Now, some people will do this haircut and their subsections are horizontal. What I want you to remember about that, because that's not really a wrong way, but just be mindful that when you do that, when you cut horizontal, it's always going to add weight to the hair, right? So like with a solid haircut, because the subsections are horizontal, that's why you have more weight, and it looks like a blunt haircut. So be mindful of that. So what I'm going to do is lightly split that, and I'm just going to have my guide to be able to go all over, right? Because wherever I go on the head, this is going to be my guide. So me personally, I'm going to start in the front section. So like I was saying, some people, sorry, sometimes I kind of jump around and I hate that about myself, but I'm working on that. Some people teach it where the subsections are horizontal and they bring the hair straight up. That's fine, but just be mindful that your layers are going to show with more weight. So it could look like chop, chop, chop. And if that's a look that you're going for, that's fine. But just be mindful that when you do vertically, it gives it the appearance that it's longer and it actually blends in better. All right. All right. So this front section here, I'm going to get started on, and then so I parted all the way from where the guide is straight down, if you can see that. And what I'm going to do, oh, sorry about that, ma'am. Oh no. Let's see what's going on with your, I think I've been twisting her around too much. What I'm gonna do is take this whole section, I'm going to comb it and bring it straight up, right? I'm not going to bring it out this way. I'm not going to bring it out this way. I'm going to elevate the hair straight up. Now when I do that, I should be able to see my guide, right? So if you look here, you will see that shorter part here, and then this part here is what I would cut. So that means I'm not going to recut my guide if it's set to where I want it to be, right? I'm just going to cut this longer part right here. And I'm just going to go just like that. And then if you slowly bring it down and let it go, you can see where it falls. And it goes shorter to longer. So I'm not sure if you can see that. You should be able to. But in the end, you'll see it. So what I love about this haircut, honestly, is you don't have much to do to it, because it styles itself, you know, and it has the already framing type look with it. So this is really one of my favorite haircuts. You bring that straight up. Bring it down if her hair is too long and you can't see. Now some people disagree with that, and that's fine, but I've been doing this for a long time, and helping the students and the clients are always happy with the results. So as long as you have where it is that you're going to be cutting, you should be okay to bring that down so you can see what you're cutting. And you're just going to go straight across. You're not going to angle your fingers in any way. That's a whole nother video. And then you just let it down, and you can see where it gets shorter to longer. So how wide should the subsections be? It depends on how you feel you have control of the hair, right? And so for me, usually like with that front section, I'm doing 4 this time, but normally I would do 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I would move to the back section. Bring that up. I see my guide right there. I'm going to cut straight across, and I'm not going to recut my guide. And I see how it falls like that. Keep the hair damp, because remember what I told you in hair cutting for beginners and in how to do a solid haircut. When you allow the hair to dry up on you, the hair is shrinking, right? So then as you cut the hair, you may be under the impression that the hair you cut is not correct, but it is correct. You just allowed the hair to shrink up. Can you do dry cutting? Yes, you can. There's different reasons why you would cut dry. And honestly, like if you're fixing something, let's say you're done with the haircut and you blow dried, you styled it. All right, now. You styled it and you see something that you need to go in and fix. Of course you can cut it dry. You don't have to re-wet her hair down. That's not what I'm saying. But on average, usually you shampoo someone and do a haircut, or you spray them down, and not spray them down where they're drenching wet, but you would mist their hair and dampen it to get that full tension out of the hair, because when it dries, it shrinks up on you. You have more control with the hair that way when it is wet. Okay, so now I want you to see this. I am moving towards the back. I've done this front section. Now for me, I'm okay. I could leave this down, but I would say if you're beginning and you want that out of your way, just kind of clip that out of your way, right? I still have some of my guide down here, right? So I combed it, I spread it so that every section will get a piece of guide. Now starting in the back, I'm just going to kind of show you how you would subsection. You would go straight down, but you're kind of following the curve of the head, right? So straight down, and you would continue on, and you would just go straight across. It almost looks like a pie in the back because of that angle there, but you're following the curve of the head going vertically, and that's if you want longer looking, more blended results. If you want the weight of the layer to show, then do horizontal. But that's not how I do it. And then I'm going to move towards the front. Okay, so let's do it. All right, so we're done with the haircut. So before I get started with blow drying and flat ironing, I'm going to sweep my hair up. That's your number one thing, your safety. I want to show you guys this before I flat iron it. You could see a little bit, but it's kind of subtle. So you can see the layers in there, but I want to blow dry it and flat iron it so you maybe can see it a little more. But you could definitely see it in the front, that face framing there. You could see where it's falling like this. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so here you have it. Long, subtle layers at the bottom of the hair. She still has the length. And on one side I showed you the face framing. And on the other side, if she wants to wear her hair back, you could see where it's layering at the bottom. And in the back, you can see the subtle layering. Now if she wants more, then she can just ask. And that's all I have for you guys. I want to thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching my videos. I truly hope that you're learning. And if you are learning, please share my videos with others who are interested in the beauty industry and becoming a cosmetologist. There's more to come. God bless you. Bye, guys.